Hello my dear students, welcome all of you to my class. Today we will continue with the chapter first history, that is the rise of nationalism in Europe. In today's video we are going to talk about the topics the making of Germany and Italy, visualizing the nation, nationalism and imperialism. So let's start our class with the first topic, and that is the making of Germany and Italy. The nationalism that had risen before 1848 soon moved away from its association with democracy and revolution. The conservatives started using nationalist sentiments for their own purpose of promoting state power and achieving political dominance over Europe. But remember, not only Germany and Italy. In 1848, the France and Italy, Poland also demanded for a nation state based on constitution. They needed freedom of the press and freedom of association. Let's move to the next topic, and that is Germany. Can the army be the architect of a nation? We know that after 1848, nationalism in Europe moved away from its association with democracy and revolution. ओके सो एक नया फॉर्म देखा जा रहा था आफ्टर डेमोक्रेसी. Nationalist feeling were widespread among middle class German, but remember this liberal initiative to nation building was repressed by the combined forces of the monarchy and the military, supported by also the large landowner of Prussia. Prussia took on the leadership of this movement. 3 wars overseen years with the Austria, Denmark, France ended in Prussian victory and completed the process of unification. In the end of nation building process of Germany displayed the dominance of Prussian state power. The new state laid emphasis on the following things like modernizing the currency, banking, legal and judicial system in Germany. मिडिल क्लास जर्मन के बीच जो नेशनलिस्ट फीलिंग था उसको फुल्ली सप्रेस्ड किया गया था कंबाइंड फोर्स ऑफ जर्मन मोनार्की एंड मिलिट्री. On 18 January 1871, an assembly comprising the princes of the German states, representatives of the army, important Prussian ministers, including the chief minister Otto von Bismarck, proclaimed the new German Empire headed by Kaiser William I of Prussia. Our next topic is unification of Italy. If we talk about Italy, it was divided into various parts. Italians were scattered over several dynastic states as well as the multinational Habsburg Empire. Italy was divided into 7 states during the middle of 19th century. Italian language had not acquired one common form and still had many regional and local variations. Giuseppe Mazzini had sought to put together a coherent program for a unitary Italian republic. एक यूनिफाइड इटली का जो एक गोल था, एक सपना था, उसको ऑल ओवर इटली पे कौन स्प्रेड किया था? ऑब्वियसली यंग इटली ने. सो यंग इटली वाज फॉर द डिसेमिनेशन ऑफ दिस गोल. But the failure of the revolutionary uprising both in 1831 and 1848 turned the responsibility of unification of Italy on the shoulders of King Victor Emmanuel II. कौन था विक्टर इमानुएल II? Obviously the ruler of Sardinia, Piedmont. This was to be done through war. So a unified Italy का जो एक सपना था वो किसके द्वारा, जस्ट लाइक किसके रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी था? द किंग विक्टर इमानुएल II. वो कौन सा प्रोसेस फॉलो किया था? Obviously war. Okay, so this was to be done through war. Italy offered them the responsibility of economic development and political dominance. Just like Germany, a chief minister played an important role in the unification of Italy. कौन था? Here we are talking about the Cavour. He was the chief minister of Piedmont who led the movement to unify regions of Italy. He was neither a revolutionary nor a democrat. He was a wealthy and educated elite who could speak French much better than Italian. So apart from the Count Camillo Cavour, another person named the Giuseppe Garibaldi played an important role for unification of Italy. तो कौन था Giuseppe Garibaldi? He was a central figure and also Italian general and nationalist in the unification of Italy. In 1833, he joined the Young Italy movement. Okay, But remember, Italian population, among whom rates of illiteracy were high, remained blissfully unaware of this liberal nationalist ideology. We know that this kind of nationalist feeling to our country just be confined among the educated middle class people. बट अगर देखा जाए इटालियन पॉपुलेशन को अगर हम लोग देखें तो यहाँ पे एक बहुत ज़्यादा मेजोरिटी पे कौन था, इलिटरेट पीपल. तो वो ब्लिसफुली अनवेयर था, ये जो नेशनलिस्ट फीलिंग, जो नेशनल मूवमेंट, जो ऑब्जेक्टिव्स, एजेंडा, उससे सबसे अनवेयर था. By the March 1860, the entire central Italian states were unanimously united with Piedmont. Rome became a part of Sardinia, and in this way the final unification of Italy was also achieved in 1871. Our next topic is the growth of Great Britain, or we can say the strange case of Britain. Ireland was forcibly incorporated into the United Kingdom in 1801. British flag, the national anthem, the English language were actively promoted, and the older nations survived only as subordinate partners on this union. Visualizing the nation. During the 18th and 19th centuries, artists tried to give a face to the nation. While it was easy enough to represent a ruler through a portrait of a statue. In other words, they represented a country as if it were a person. Nation were then portrayed as a female figure. The female figures became an allegory of the nation. Allegory means आपका कोई imagination को अगर आप express करते हो through any object, it is kind of allegory. Okay, so the female form that was chosen to personify the nation did not stand for any particular women in real life. Rather, it was done to give a rough idea of the nation as a concrete form. Christian Marian, a popular Christian name which underlined the idea of people's nation. So the female figures became known as the allegory of the nations. Example क्या था? Marian in France and Germania in Germany. Let's move to the next topic for today's class, and that is nationalism and imperialism. By the last quarter of the 19th century, the nationalism no longer retained its idealistic liberal democratic sentiment. During this period, nationalist groups became increasingly intolerant with each other and were ready to start war. The Balkan area became an area of intense conflict. Each power, Russia, Germany, England, Austro-Hungary, was keen on countering the hold of other powers over the Balkans and extending its control over the area. Means the Balkan states were jealous of each other and each hoped to gain more territory at the expense of each other. But the idea that societies should be organized into a nation states came to be accepted as natural and universal. All these events led to a series of wars in this region, and finally the result was the First World War. So my dear children, that's the end for today's session. We will meet in our next class with new topics. Till then, bye. Take a very good care of yourself and happy learning.